I love quotes, and I particularly like this one from Abraham Lincoln. Don't believe everything you read on the internet just because there's a picture with a quote next to it. You have to kind of wonder, how could Abraham Lincoln be commenting on the internet when he died, of course, in 1865? Well, obviously, we cannot believe everything we read on the internet. In fact, all digital information is not equal. Sure, we all have equal access to the internet, but the information is not equal or indeed credible. And as good users of digital information, we need to be able to evaluate the credibility of the resources we easily can access on the internet. Of course, if we're going to be evaluating information, we want to have a criteria with which to do so. This particular page shows a variety of things that we should be evaluating, from the author, how objective is the author, the publisher, accuracy, date, bias, if the author has some, evidence, if there's external, of course, links to the website we're looking at, links from, expert review, and print resources. For today, however, I'm just going to focus on 4 ways to critically evaluate a web page. We will start first with who is the author and the publisher of the web page. Now, the name or the author or organization of a web page is usually somewhere at the top or on the sides or possibly even the bottom of a web page. It helps us to figure out who decided to do this. This copyright, of course, is a clue as well. You see this is copyrighted Canadian Museum of History. Legitimate sources of information do not try to hide the author or the publisher. Of course, as a part of the author-publisher site, we can also look to the address bar. So I can bring that bar down here so you can see. And you can see at the first slash right there on, I'm going to get rid of everything except for the GOV. So I know it's a government site. I reload that and it'll refresh the page, take me back to the original site. Which seems pretty legit. So at that point, so you can see we come back to the original site. Just as a contrast here, let me show site. This is also Mankato, Minnesota. Was found easily with a Google search. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of everything back to that domain. .com is a commercial site. I'm going to reload this to see where it would take me back to. And I found the domain took me back to a blog. You know, it doesn't look as reputable, it kind of commercial. At this point, I find this rather suspect. So it would not have passed the publisher test there. At this point, we could go ahead and just check a site to see about the what I'm looking for right now is just the date, because you want to make sure that your website is current. Have they been keeping it up to date? Checking to make sure that the copyright information has been updated, that it's factual, or the statistical information is up to date. Again, we probably would look at the bottom. Scroll down here to the bottom of the page. See if we can't find a copyright information. I see right here we have 2014 Exploratorium. So it's an up-to-date website, which is good for reliability. Another way to check reliability is just to Google the source, the author or the item that you're actually looking for. I'm going to open up a new page here. I'm just going to go ahead and Google Exploratorium. It's out of curiosity what Google would come up with. See if it's cited enough. See how it comes up in Google. I see it does come up as itself, right? The Museum of Science, Art and History. I see it's listed in several other ways. Khan Academy, I'm familiar with that company. It's very reputable. Here it is in a Tumblr. You have images, just a lot of other references showing that it's kind of add to that reliability, where we have directions and a location. It's a museum in California. Address, when it's actually open. Of course, we need to get Google reviews of that. Okay, so at this point we realize that we should be looking for the author, the publisher of a website. We want to check those URLs, see what the domain really is. Where is it coming from? Is the date current? Information, the copyright up to date? As well as is it reliable, even for a basic Google search? Let's go ahead and do a test here. I want to go to this Internet Search Challenge. You're going to try this on your own as well, but we'll go ahead and go through one together. Of course, this is called the bad apple. We want to be critical, maybe suspicious, as we go through this to test these sites. So here we have the Pacific Northwest Tree Octopus. That's going to bring up the site. Again, it talks about the things that I've just spoken with you about testing and deciding about the author, publisher, date, bias. Is there evidence? Is there links to this particular website? Do people want to link to it because the information is so good? Do people link from it? The links that it sends people out to, are they reputable sites as well? So those are things we're going to look at. Okay, so here we have that main page. When we go open up our web page, this was the page we asked about. It is the Pacific Northwest Tree Octopus. I've never heard of that before, but this website's going to tell us more about that. First thing we talked about is checking that author. So we can look to the bottom. We're looking for the author of this website. We see the support for it, a gift shop, scrolling all the way down. I really want to find out who the author is. Here we go. The author of this article, its subsection, is Lyle Zapato. This site is not associated with any school or educational organization other than the Helsinki University branch of the Wild Haggis Conservatory Society, not to be confused with the Pacific Northwest Tree. All right, well, Lyle actually has a hyperlink, which can often happen. Let's go ahead and see where it'll take us. We're going to find out about Lyle Zapato, what the website says about him. Since he is the one who wrote this, we should expect him to be a reputable person. And we come up to a page called Zapato Productions, Interdimensional. Your source for conspiracies and other diversions, serving the paranoid since 1997. Well, that appears to me to be something suspect. We had what appeared to look like a scientific page related to the tree octopus. This appears to be kind of goofy. A Bollywood film. Yeti, I love him. Alright, so that doesn't bode very well. I'm ready to go back to that main page, and I'm pretty sure my author, I'm going to toss him. Because he did not, he's truly suspect. So we've tossed him out. Publisher is really the company that puts it back together. Let's go back to that Zapata. Go back a page here. The original site. I noticed on the bottom it said something about haggis. So what's not associated with any educational, but then associated with this wild haggis haggis. Haggis. I don't know why, but that really rings a bell for me. I think I've heard of a I thought a haggis is something kind of nasty, but I don't. What is haggis, Google? Tell me what haggis is. Define haggis. A Scottish dish consisting of a sheep or cow's offal mixed with suet, oatmeal, and seasoning and boiled in a bag. Traditionally one made from animal stomach. That is gross. I knew the haggis had kind of a gross connotation, but I didn't know why. And I'm thinking not too highly now of the publisher. I'm tossing that as well. Let's see if there's a date. Was there a date on there? Did we see a date anywhere on this information? Although, certainly am thinking at this point not too highly of this site. course, from scanning the information as well, I do see a 2015, so it is up to date. Sightings, as it were. You know what? Another way to check as well is just the reliability of links. Let's see where it's linking out to. What kind of links does it have? Save the Mountain Walrus? Ah, never heard of such a thing. Let's just see where the picture takes us. Ooh, interesting. It was a frozen page. So, Rock Nest Monster, known only as Rocky Nest. Let's see if that goes anywhere. Cryptozoology magazine. Send questions. No reliable sightings. Known only from its nest, clustered large rocks. Porcelain-like eggs. Okay, this sounds pretty silly to me. No scrape marks. Okay. All right, at this point, I'm going to go back, and I don't find their evidence very conclusive. Or the links it's linking to. Let's roll up here a minute. So I'm just curious then, of course, you could, at that point, you could go ahead and decide. And we could discuss that as well. But these were your picks. These were other picks. We'll be able to look at that together as a class. So what I'd like you to do is to go ahead and go back to the challenge. And we can go ahead and try another one as well, because the original page had several challenges that you could try. So now with your computers as a class, I'd like you to go ahead and try the TATOs to go ahead and do the evaluation if it's a good egg or a bad egg, to test that website. And again, these are the links you're going to worry about or concern yourself with to find out the reliability. And just hit the link here to go to TASOS, the site, and it'll launch in a new window for you to evaluate. Remembering always to be skeptical, be suspicious. All information is not equal. You get to decide. Just because somebody wrote it down doesn't mean you need to believe it. So make sure you're truly thinking about the author. Can you believe him? Does the publisher reputable? Is the date up to date? Does the information seem accurate? Is there bias that seems outrageous? Is the evidence clear and concise and cited by other sources? Do the links to the website seem reputable? Can you follow those? The links from that site, where do they go? Where do they take you? Be sure to check out that URL as well. All right, good luck in your investigation. And remember, always be aware, always be thinking.